Who are your role models? And do they align with your values? So, for example, some people might say Genghis Khan is a perfect role model. But depending on how you see history, some may consider him a savage that would today be diagnosed as a psychopath. Hey guys, welcome back to Men Plus 40. Today I want to talk about building your own moral philosophy. This is something I learned a few years ago from Richard Grant, so make sure you follow him on YouTube and his various other socials. Alright, so let's get into it. Okay, so most people are going to follow a set of rules, ideologies, frameworks, religions, or even a bro code. But what are your core values? This is really, really important. You know, it's fine following the above elements, but you need to align with the sum of those parts, right? Because ultimately, no one should be following stuff blindly and retain their own agency of independent thinking. So what you can do is you can mark down your own core values. And then what you can do is you can weigh them against all the other frameworks of which you adhere to. And it's important to know that you're on the right track. As men, we'll mostly agree that having a purpose is key for a fruitful life. But it's also worth checking your purpose if you are on the right track. So example, let's say you go after your purpose, but you could be out there like a wrecking ball, leaving destruction in your wake. And you could be completely oblivious to your own behaviours, how you're treating others. And that lack of self-awareness could actually be damaging long term. So let's start with the basics. This is going to sound really stupid, knowing the difference between right and wrong. The reason why I say this is because the lines get smeared here and people have different perceptions. So depending on your ideology, you may consider, your bro code to not go near another man's wife, whether you know that man or not, but are still quite happy to step out on the mother of your children. Now, that's not for me to judge. That's for you to decide. And this is why it's important to develop your own moral philosophy and not just stand there or sit there and follow other people's. Another example, you may decide you'll do anything necessary to grow your business or to climb the ladder in your work without any regards for others. And what you end up doing is you're turning over everyone in your wake. Now, I've seen this many times over. There's a saying when I was in the music industry, be careful if you kick on the way up, because you'll never know who you're going to meet on the way down. So, depending on how you conduct yourself, you can find a pack of wolves tearing you to pieces. You've got to remember, as people have long memories and they remember how that you treated them. Another thing to look at, what are your standards? And with your standards, do you hold yourself and others to the same standards? Or are you handpicking only what benefits you? What are your boundaries? And are you self-aware enough to not cross other people's boundaries? Now, a boundary is only going to work if there is a consequence and then it's enforced. So, are you prepared to face the consequences for crossing other people's boundaries? Another question for you, are you disciplined? Not just in your work or gym, but do you have downstairs discipline? Because if you don't have the latter, you're going to be easily manipulated. One of the best attributes you can have as a man is controlling your desires and make better decisions, as this will make it very hard to be manipulated. Not only that, whilst women may get frustrated, there's going to be a lot more women out there who will respect you because of that discipline. Another question to ask, do you have agency or do you get easily triggered and lose self-control? Anyone that can get an emotional reaction out of you puts them in control of your peace. Another question, are you congruent? Do you talk the talk or do you walk the walk? It's one thing to say you will protect and provide, but can you? Do you earn enough to take care of your family on your income regardless if your partner works? Have you ever been in real danger or trained in a combat sport? Be honest with yourself. If not, fine, but you can at least be honest with yourself and then you can do the work to change these things. Another question to ask yourself, do you have habits that contribute to the betterment of your life? Or are they destructive to yourself and others? Who are your role models? And do they align with your values? So for example, some people might say Genghis Khan is a perfect role model. But depending on how you see history, some may consider him a savage that would today be diagnosed as a psychopath that destroyed families. And let's take a look at the children he fathered. Did all the women sleep with him out of genuine desire? Or did they do it just to survive to see another day? These are things that we may never know, but you still have to have the ability of independent thinking and discernment. So, your personal moral philosophy is a working document that you add, subtract, and you update over time. These are just some of the questions that you should be asking yourself, and it's a great way to develop your own self-awareness.